Hello, guys. Good morning. Welcome to your next math lesson. Today's math lesson is called division patterns. So open up your math notebook and on the next available page, at the top of the page, write that title, division patterns. First of all, before we start today's lesson, let's do a little review. You already know that you can, that when you're multiplying, let's say you're multiplying something like 3 times 7,000. You can just focus on the non-zero parts of the number. You can just do 3 times 7 and it equals 21. And then you just count how many zeros are in both factors, 1, 2, 3, and you write those in the product. So 3 times 7,000 is 21,000. Or if you're doing 5, let's say 50 times 600. Okay, you just do 5 times 6 and it's 30. And then you add 1, 2, 3 zeros. 1, 2, 3, because there's 1, 2, 3 zeros in both factors. So you add that many zeros in the product. And you can do the same thing with division with one important difference. So the best way for me to show you how to do it with division is just to go over some examples with you. So again, today's lesson is division patterns, and we're going to look at what some of those patterns are. Let's say we have 800 divided by 2. Okay. This one works the exact same way as the multiplication one. You can just do the 8 divided by the 2. That equals 4. And then you take the 2 zeros from the dividend and you can add them into the quotient. Okay. So that one's the same. The times in which it's different in division than it is in multiplication is when you see a situation like this. Let's say we have 1,800 divided by 30. See, in this situation, there's zeros in both the dividend and the divisor. Now, if this was a multiplication problem, you would take all 3 of these zeros and add them into the product, but you don't do that in a division problem. In a division problem, zeros cancel each other out. So wherever there's zeros in both the dividend and divisor, they cancel each other out. You take 1 0 out of the divisor and you take 1 0 out of the dividend. Wherever there's zeros in both, you take them out as long as they match each other. So you don't take this one out because there's none to take out over here. But as long as there's one to take out over here too, you take out this one. And now, after canceling the zeros, you do it the same way you do it with multiplication. So you do 18 divided by 3 equals 6, and then this 0 left in the dividend goes into the answer. So 1,800 divided by 30 equals 60. Let's do another example. Let's say we have 420 divided by 70. Now, if this was multiplication, we'd multiply the 42 times the 7, then we'd add these 2 zeros into the product. But that's not how it is in division. In division, if there's zeros in both the dividend and the divisor, they cancel each other out. And now it's just 42 divided by 7, and that's 6, because 7 times 6 equals 42. Let's do some more examples. Let's say we had 180 divided by 60. The zeros cancel because there's a 0 in the dividend and the divisor. They cancel each other out. 18 divided by 6 is 3. So 180 divided by 60 is 3. Let's do a couple more examples together. Let's say we have 280 divided by 4. Okay. Notice there's no 0. Let me move this a little bit. There's no 0 in the divisor in this one to cancel out this 0 in the dividend. So it's just 28 divided by 4. 28 divided by 4 equals 7. And this 0 from the dividend goes into the quotient. Okay. Let's do another example like that. 450 divided by 9. There's no 0 in the divisor. to match this 0 in the dividend. So we don't do any canceling. We just do 45 divided by 9 equals 5, and we add this 0 from the dividend into the quotient. Okay? Now, let's do that same problem, but instead of dividing 450 by 9, let's divide it by 90. In this case, the zeros cancel. So it's 45 divided by 9 equals 5. Okay? Now, that is really all there is to today's lesson. You just divide normally. Any zeros that are in the dividend, you add into the quotient, except for when they're canceled out by zeros in the divisor. Then you cancel first, divide normally, and any zeros left in the dividend, you add into the quotient. Okay, that's today's lesson in a nutshell. I'm going to go ahead and put some independent practice ones for you to do here. Let's see. I'll have you do 560 divided by 80. I'll have you do 3,600 divided by 9. And I'll have you do 21,000 divided by 700. Go ahead and, oops, you can't even see it. There you go. There's your independent practice for today. So go ahead and do this independent practice in your math notebook, and then click on the next video under this one to see if you got it right. Okay? Catch you guys next time.